Sabatini down. Yep. Yep.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the March 11th, 20.
Test, test, test.
Commissioners, Commissioners, This meeting is being streamed live on the county's website. The meeting is also being made available through Zoom webinar for members of the public who wish to provide comments during the citizen question and comment. Commissioners, this meeting is
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. Test, test. Test, test.
Commissioners, this meeting is being Commissioners, this meeting is being streamed live on the county's website. The meeting is also being made available through Zoom webinar for members. Commissioners, this meeting is being streamed live on the county's website. The meeting is also being made available through Zoom webinar for members of the public who wish to provide comments during the citizen question and comment period later in your agenda. Anyone watching through the live stream who wishes to participate in the meeting can follow the directions broadcast now through the stream. During the citizen question and comment section, anyone who has joined the Zoom webinar using their phone can press star 9 to virtually raise their hands. Anyone participating online can click the raise hand button to let us know you wish to speak. When it is time for public comment, the meeting facilitator will read the person's name or phone number and will then unmute the appropriate line, and the speaker will be asked to provide comments. Everyone will have 3 minutes to speak.
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Test, test.
Commissioner.
Test, test, test.
We sit all the way on the end, over here. Yeah. So at the very end is our seat, and then Christy sits next to us. So just one moment, I'll grab a chair. Everybody next to you back here. Sorry. Very good. Okay, this will work. It should be fine there, yeah. Maybe if people start coming in, usually they come up on the dais on the other side, so if someone tries to go through. Yeah, you're good. Here's the agenda real quick. You have to look at this right now, but that's what's going to be on the agenda today. Just for your reference, kind of follow along. You can probably sit here for now if you want to see what I'm doing. Christy will sit there when she gets here, but we always put the minutes that are going to be approved by her seat. I just need to run the sheet of paper down to you there real quick. So we're basically doing kind of a high-level overview. They have an audio This is the Lake County Board of County Commissioners regular meeting on March 25th, 2025 in Board Chambers Administrative Building, Tavares, Florida.
was a blur. Just
It should be easy. Easy for you. Easy day today.
good morning. It is a beautiful day in Lake County. It's March 25th, 2025. I want to welcome everybody joining us here this morning for our regularly scheduled Lake County Board of County Commissioners meeting. Thank you all for attending. This meeting is being streamed live on the county's website. We are also broadcasting the meeting via Zoom for those members of the public who wish to provide input. So you can not only provide input here, but you can also provide input live via Zoom as well, which we totally encourage. As is our tradition here in Lake County, we will begin with our invocation, our pledge. Today, our invocation will be given by Pastor James Gardner of First Baptist Church of Umatilla. Thank you again for joining us this morning.
Thank you for allowing me to do this. Let's pray. Lord, we come to you now thanking you for your goodness, Lord. Thank you for the fact that you hear our prayers. We come to you now just asking that you would bless all that takes place here today, Lord. Bless these folks who have stepped forward and faithfully served this community. I pray that you bless them, give them wisdom and discernment, Lord, as they make decisions. Bless each person here that's going to be presenting. And Lord, thank you for the fact that we can have this opportunity to have this type of government. I pray that you would guide and direct all that takes place, and we would honor and glorify you. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Pastor. All right, once again, good morning. So you've probably noticed I am not Chair Campione this morning. I'm filling in for Chair Campione, who could not make it today, as well as Commissioner Kirby Smith as well. So we will do the best with the three of us and move things along. And again, thanks again for everybody participating today. We'll go right into the agenda with agenda update. Jennifer.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Vice Chair. We have one update to the agenda. Tab 20 was added as an addendum since the publishing of the agenda, and that will be discussed by Commissioner Sabatini later in the meeting.
Excellent. Okay. Anything else, commissioners? Okay. All right, so we'll move right into our minutes approval. Christy? I'm sorry, Mr. Cooney's here. I overlooked you.
Well, you called on the smarter one, so that's all right. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, or Mr. Vice Chairman. I have one set of minutes for your approval this morning.
All right, do I hear a motion for February 11th, 2025?
Move approval.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. That passes unanimously. So now we move into the citizens' questions and comment period. Anyone who has joined our meeting through Zoom using their phone may press *9 to virtually raise your hand. Anyone participating through Zoom online, please click the raise hand button to let us know when you wish to speak. Everyone will have 3 minutes to speak. A lot can be said in 3 minutes. We do appreciate and we do listen to your input. After the 3 minutes goes off, that's what the little beeping, the alarm that Nikki has set for us. So that's just, you know to when to kind of wrap things up at that point. If you have cards and you still wish to speak, right now would be the time to fill those cards out. We do have a few of those cards that I've received for public input, and I'll get into those in just a second. But now's your time if you want to speak. Fill out one of those cards. All right, so we'll start with Eric. Is there anybody online that wishes to speak? All right. Then we'll go, I have 3 cards filled out here, and these are for items that are not, I don't think that they're on the agenda. So we'll start with Jill Lawson. Ms. Jill Lawson. How are you?
Ever.
Well, welcome.
And I'm almost 65. Okay, I am here to seek help. I don't know how all this goes, so if I have to be put on the agenda, possibly you can do that for next time. My husband served 30 years in the military, and he died during COVID, and that has left me financially devastated. So I have been struggling. And I applied for rental assistance on October 1st of last year. It has been my experience that they are stalling, and I am about to get served for eviction now because they've taken so long. It's been 6 months. Everything that they have asked They started asking for things, I think, the very end of October, and then through November. I gave them everything. Sometimes they only gave me 3 days. They never respond to submittable, which is the only way that I have to talk to them. I tracked them down and went to their office and was told I have to go to submittable. They will not talk to me. I contacted Representative Truno's office finally for help, and he's got an assistant there named Elise, and she was trying to help me, and they contacted her back in February, I think like the 20th or something, and they told her that they would be taking care of this. They were just wrapping it up, and they just needed to know who to pay. My landlord is the Castleberry city manager. He's very respected. They have given him such a hard time that he has texted me, and he's like, if they say I didn't provide information, I did. My property is in a trust. They don't want to pay a trust, even though they've done it in the past, and even though they've paid other properties that they have. They finally came up to Elise with Representative Truno's office and said, I needed to provide, they had everything pretty much wrapped up. They just needed to know who to pay. And it had to be somebody that had a license and what have you. They gave me some stipulations. It's the same address because the manager of Castleberry, the city manager, and his partner run a property management company. And so I did get that information. I got the license number, sent all that in February. I'm still waiting. I get nothing. I'm hoping I can get some help. I have all the stuff. I thought I could hand it out, but I obviously can't for the attorney and everybody that's present. But this is literally everything on submittable, and 90% of it is what I have sent. They just don't respond. They're not doing anything. And my landlord just contacted me yesterday and said something has to happen. So I'm really hoping I can get some resolution on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lawson. I'm sorry to hear that. And Jennifer, it looks like.
Yes, so if you would leave your information with Nikki right here on the end, let me look into it. I don't know any of the details, and we'll see what we can offer
will tell
for
you all the
assistance.
details in
Okay,
writing.
perfect. If you would just hand that to Nikki, we'll look into it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lawson. And you did well to come and for your first meeting speak. So we'll see what we can do to help. All right, Mr. Nemec, one of my friends from South Lake. Good morning, Vinny.
Vincent Nemec, Regency Hills, Claremont. Good morning, Commissioners. Today is a special day because I come before you to show my appreciation. I'd like to say a big thank you to all the Commissioners, especially Mr. Sean Parks, who's our District Commissioner, and especially a big shout out and a thank you to Mr. Jeff Earhart, who diligently worked to get our situation by Hancock and Harwood Marsh corrected. For those commissioners that aren't able to know what Mr. Earhart did, he basically went down there, spent a lot of time realizing that there was sensors in the ground, so instead of creating more traffic for Harwood Marsh going either direction from east to west, if there was not a car on top of the sensor, then the light would not turn green or change, which to me is a life-saving situation for Harwood Marsh, because just this weekend we had an accident which actually caused close to a half an hour delay just to go a half a mile. Basically, from myself and all the residents along Hancock and Harwood Marsh in District 175, we won't forget this help that you gave us. If I may, please, I would like to give a special shout out and a thank you to Mr. Paul Erickson. Most of you know him. He's our public service superintendent. He gave me the knowledge of most of the roads, or majority of the roads around the South Lake area, which I'm studying. It's a lot. So I understand that everybody here has a lot on their plate besides South Claremont. Also, I would like to definitely shout out to our acting city commissioner, our city manager, Mr. Rick Van Wagner, for amplifying all our voices to the BCC and also the FDLT. So once again, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for helping us with this situation. God bless you all, and hopefully I won't have to come back.
No, thank you, Vinny. And you can come back anytime. And I'll just say personally, thank you for staying on the issue and being passionate about it. You know, obviously for a couple years now, I've been able to tell that you really just care about the community, and I appreciate that. And want to echo a few of the same things that you said. I certainly appreciate the relationship with Claremont, trying to work on that issue with Hartwood Marsh Road. The next thing is to get it widened, which we're working on expediting that. And a lot of people don't know about that, but we're actually made that the #1 county priority road for the last 2 years to get funding for that. And we think we may have a way to move it up. We don't know for sure yet, but we may have a way to move that up significantly in time to go ahead and get that widened, which the sooner the better for me, as I know you are too. We'll get there very soon, I hope. So a lot more on that issue, but really just want to thank you very much for coming this morning and thanking us. Appreciate that. All right. Okay, so the last card I have is Mr. Richard Cartwright.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for letting me speak. I live in Mount Dora, and the community that they're building behind me is Lakeside. And we've got a real issue there with dust. Now, obviously, we've had 20, 25-mile-an-hour winds here lately. I can appreciate that. They can't control that. But just under normal circumstances, my property backs up to theirs. And they put what they would call a retainer fence for the dust and debris that's approximately 2.5, 3 feet high. And then they come in and they fill dirt up to the top of that. So that does not do any good at all. And I can't even sit out on my patio and enjoy this beautiful weather for the spring that we're having. And I'm sorry that we don't have more people here to represent my community, but they should be able to put a higher fence or something up to control that, even though their work on their first phase is pretty much done, or at least it will be pretty soon. What's going to happen next is you still have all that dirt there until they get the houses built. So I'm asking if somebody would please step in and ask the developer to do something to control some of that dust.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Cartwright. So again, we'll get some information from you exactly where it is. I think I know from what you just described where it is, but they are, to my knowledge, anybody that's doing construction has an NPDES responsibility, both to prevent erosion from the water and windborne dust. So they're probably supposed to be doing things like maybe occasionally wetting it down so that it doesn't blow, or putting sod down as quickly as possible. And we'll find out. It's something our engineers could definitely find out if they're doing that, and if they're supposed to be doing something with their permit. If there's some kind of an issue, if there's something they're doing they're not doing that they're supposed to be doing, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
We will find that out for you.
Well, they do try to wet it down, and obviously, I come back to just what I just said. It's the fence issue.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
when they start building in there, I don't know what kind of fence is actually going to be around the perimeter of their property. But the issue now is the fence they put there, they put the dirt up to the same height as that. So,
Oh, I see. Okay.
so that fence is basically not any good at all.
Okay, all right, so we'll look at that too as well. But
Okay.
the dust and everything that you had, that was of concern, so we'll take a look at it. Just make sure you get the information to Jennifer, to Nikki probably, right?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate it. All right, I have no other cards. Is there one more chance for anybody online? Nobody else online? Okay. All right, then, so I'll go ahead and close the public comment period. And we'll move to the Clerk of Court's consent agenda.
Good morning again. I have 3 items on my consent agenda this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Cooney.
To approve.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, there are none. That passes unanimously. That was tab 2. We'll now move to our consent agenda. So one more chance. Is there anybody in the public that has any questions about anything that's on the consent agenda? That would be tabs 3 through 17. I don't see anybody. Do we have somebody online? Okay. Eric?
Yes, we had one hand raised. It's a phone number, 352-428-6652. You should be able to unmute and then give your comments to the board, please.
Okay, go ahead. And if there's whoever's online, if you have a question about it, okay, go ahead.
They are still muted. You'll have to unmute your line to be able to speak.
But this is somebody who raised their hand. Okay.
Okay, sorry.
That's right. Go ahead. Yes, ma'am. Just state your name for the record, please.
Susan Ducey.
Okay. And do you have a...
I saw.
Go ahead.
Yes, I saw Mr. Sabatini speaking about having DOJ work with us to find out about waste or whatever. So I would be against that. My husband and I want to not have a federal agency come, well, it's not even an agency, to have someone come into our county and our state that would have some say over what we're doing in our county and our state. And we should be doing information gathering on finding out if there's waste in our government. We don't need teenagers and 20-year-olds coming in and looking at private information as they're doing at the federal level. And the optics are bad. The richest man in the world may be telling people here that they no longer have a job. So I would like to keep our sovereignty and not get involved in that. And if you need someone to help you find waste, I guess I could do that too. But I think that that's the responsibility of us in Lake County as the residents here and as you who are the representatives of us here, and not to allow federal anything come in right now, because we are a sovereign state and I would like to keep us that way.
Okay, thank you for your...
So that was, okay, go ahead.
No, ma'am. I was just going to say thank you for your input. I didn't want to cut you off. Do you have anything else that you would like to say?
No, just that I would not want...
Okay.
That's a sovereign state and a sovereign county, and thank you for your help.
Thank you for listening.
Oh, you got it. Thank you for participating. And we'll have discussion on this a little later at tab 20. I think that concern over the federal reach can be addressed because we'll be doing this through the state. But, stay tuned. We'll be talking about that a little later on in the meeting, tab 20. All right. Is there anybody else? Nobody else. Okay. So we're back to move approval. Thank you.
For the consent agenda.
For the consent agenda. Yes, sir. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? There are none. That passes unanimously. All right, so we're moving along pretty quickly here. Now we're going to go to our public hearings. So this is tab 18, and I will call on Melanie, our attorney for this tab.
This will be an ordinance of the Board of County Commissioners of Lake County, Florida, amending the following sections of the Lake County Code, Appendix C, Land Development Regulations, Chapter 2, entitled Definitions, and Section 30103, entitled Schedule of Permitted and Conditional Uses, defining and permitting natural gas resiliency facilities in all commercial and industrial zoning districts, defining and allowing solar facilities in the agricultural zoning district, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the code, providing for filing with Department of State, and providing for an effective date. This is your second and final reading on this. If you choose to approve it today, it'll become Ordinance 2025-15. And as a reminder, these changes are required by state law.
Move to approve.
Second.
We need to open the public hearing, please.
Yeah, I'll do it. I was going to take the second. So there's a motion on the floor, but we'll go ahead and do public input. Is there anybody in the audience that wishes to speak on this tab, tab 18? Okay, is there anybody, Eric, are you seeing anybody online? Okay, so we'll go ahead and close the public comment period. Come back to the board. We do have a motion on the table. Any final discussion?
No, sir.
Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Opposed? There are none. That passes unanimously. Looks like Melanie, you're up again for tab 19. No?
This is actually going to be John Simpson from the Office of Fire Rescue.
Okay. My apologies. You're glad, right?
Good morning, Mr. Vice Chairman. Good morning, Board. I appreciate you giving me a few moments this morning to come before you to discuss the evaluation of providing a leopard transport, a limited basic life support certificate of public convenience and necessity. I apologize. In the audience with us this morning is Dan McCarthy and his wife Elizabeth, who are the owners of Leopard Transport, Kimberly Chaiko, who is their operations manager, and Nelson Green, who has served as their consultant through the process. So I want to provide a little bit of background about why we're here today and about the COPCN process. We'll talk a little bit about current need. I'll give you some background information on Leopard Transport. They're a local company. We'll summarize, and then I'll put forward a recommendation and give it back to the board for the public hearing. So the state of Florida is a Certificate of Public Convenience Necessity state. So they are a COPCN state. Chapter 401 of Florida statutes provides sole authority to the county commission of each county to provide certificates of public convenience and necessity, which are a requirement to receive a licensure as an ambulance provider in the state of Florida. Providing ambulance services is highly regulated in the state of Florida. It's through the Department of Health, Bureau of Emergency Medical Oversight. You must have a COPCN to provide them to show that the county commission has authorized those services to be provided. The Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity, or COPCN, is required if there's any time advanced life support services are provided, or if there's basic life support or advanced life support transport services provided. So Lake County Code Section 1119, that provides the process and the general form of a COPCN and the application. Here in Lake County, the EMS division of the Office of Fire Rescue serves on the board's behalf as the ambulance authority. And so we actually evaluate any applications, we perform inspections, all of that sort of thing to evaluate the organizations. Lake County, the Board of County Commissioners holds the only the only unrestricted transport COPCN in the county, and that is administered through the Office of Fire Rescue. And so we provide advanced life support and basic life support responses in the county to provide transportation. As the EMS authority, we also oversee all of our response partners in the provision of advanced life support. So one of the current needs that exist, many patients that are discharged from our local facilities, from hospitals to home, from home to nursing facilities, hospitals, nursing facilities, hospice patients, also ancillary care appointments. Oftentimes those patients need oxygen. Oxygen can only be provided in a licensed ambulance. An ambulance licensed at the basic life support level can carry and provide that oxygen to be able to provide that need that we have in our community. Paratransit companies provide stretcher and wheelchair transport, but they cannot provide medical care, they cannot provide medical monitoring, and they cannot provide oxygen to the patients that they're transporting. The county does not provide that service. Again, specialization leads to efficiency, and we specialize in emergency response, scene response. So this is a need in our community that needs to be taken care of for these patients. So a limited scope basic life support COPCN would provide a solution to this and provide access to care for those patients. So Leopard Transport of Central Florida, they're a local veteran-owned company. They have been providing paratransit services for the last 7 years throughout Lake County. They do have a history of financial stability, and they also have established relationships in the community. So they currently serve all of our hospitals. They serve various nursing homes, hospices. They already do the transports that are being discharged from these facilities. However, they cannot do them if they're discharged on oxygen. So Leopard has acquired 3 ambulances to provide this service. The EMS division has performed thorough inspections based on state criteria, and they have passed all of those inspections. They possess all the necessary equipment, and they have fulfilled all obligations on the application. Additionally, they are investing in the infrastructure in Lake County. What you see on your screen, they are building a 9,000 square foot headquarters and maintenance facility in Groveland. This facility is located just north of the intersection of 19 and 27, right at the Turnpike entrance. So you may see that when you're driving by there. It's being constructed already, as you can see. So we've reviewed their fee structure. It falls in line with current county schedules. Again, all application materials have been completed. They have agreed to county oversight, and so they will work in partnership with us. And they desire to provide a BLS transport services. So if awarded today, they will provide BLS interfacility transportation that is restricted to patients departing a licensed hospital to a residential or nursing facility, or the patient's residence, patients from residential nursing facilities for the purpose of scheduled ancillary care appointments, and patients requiring dialysis who meet medical necessity for ambulance transport. So in summary, there is a need in our community for these oxygen-dependent transports. The patient condition warrants transport by a licensed basic life support ambulance, and Leopard is seeking to provide that service. They are a local business, and they have a proven transportation history. Additionally, they are expanding services locally, so all county requirements have been met. So the requested action is to issue Leopard Transport of Central Florida a limited scope basic life support certificate of public convenience and necessity. And with that, Vice Chairman, I'll turn that back over to you.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate that. Good presentation. Commissioners, any questions?
How many other people do we have? How many other companies do we have that do this?
So currently, locally, Right Way Transport, they also have a limited scope COPCN. As a matter of fact, next month I'll be coming before the commission for another public hearing because it's time to renew theirs. They've been providing it for the last 2 years. Theirs has been restricted to hospice patients only. However, when they renew, we'll be opening up to the same type of patients as defined here. We're just going to remove the hospice area. So they are the only other service in the county that provide that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Chief, obviously, this is for our public safety concerns, and at times our general EMS system can be strained with demands and everything. Obviously, this is a relief to that assists, right?
Yes, sir. This is a service that we cannot provide.
Exactly, yeah. So it's gonna help us with our overall providing first response.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I know you mentioned that, just thought it would be important to point that out again. So, and I appreciate what they're doing, and thank you very much for the obvious investment into the county. Thank you.
Move to approve, unless we have more public comment.
We need a public hearing.
It's a public, yeah, okay. All right, so we'll do, yeah, I wasn't gonna, anybody in the audience that wishes to speak on this matter? Anybody online? Okay, go ahead and close the public comment period. We have a motion to approve. Okay. Any final discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? There are none. That passes unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks, Chief. All right, so we're getting near the end of the meeting. We're going to go now to tab 20 before we do our commission report. So this is something that Commissioner Sabatini has asked that will be put on the agenda. Before he wants to make any comments, I will just say this is obviously of great importance now, this issue, these questions about efficiency. We did receive a letter, or at least Jennifer did, last week that maybe you could explain. Maybe, I don't want to, I know this is Commissioner Sabatini's item on the agenda, so maybe just, Commissioner, you go ahead and speak, and then Jennifer, you.
I'll say a couple words, and then I think obviously she can, the governor wants all the county, cities, school boards, everybody to publicly state that they're willing to open their books and et cetera, work with the governor. I think we have the great opportunity to be the first government entity in the state to pass a resolution saying such, and then lead the state, lead the counties on this. Bay County was the first county to say they were going to do it, but they haven't passed a resolution yet. I think they're going to pass it early next week or later this week. So we would be the first if and when we did it. Obviously, I think everybody agrees with this. I think it's great. I don't think that they're going to be going through every single county. I think they're going to be looking for the trouble counties, which might be some of our neighbors and some people down south, but certainly not us. I think staff did a great job keeping it short, sweet, legal, professional in terms of the resolution. Just says we're willing to work with them. I think there is enormous benefit to the county to being the first to do this in the state. I think it's enormous benefit to do it in the middle of a legislative session, showing the governor that we support his initiatives and showing him that we have his back, while we have a lot of projects pending before the governor's pen here in a few weeks. So I think that's good too. It just shows the spirit of accountability. And I just think there's a lot of reasons to get it done quick. I think the more interesting issue now would be, we don't have the full board here, but the reason why I would support passing it just with the remaining members of the board is because the resolution that passes just has the chairman's name, the county clerk's name, Gary Cooney's name, and the county manager. So if we passed it with 3, we pass it with 5, honestly, it doesn't matter. They're never going to see that. They're never going to look and say, okay, well, who voted no or whatever. They're just going to see that the county passed it. I think it's best to do it now because, honestly, getting it out quick and early will lead other counties. Other counties will say, okay, cool. I mean, I made a post about this on social media last week, and I got 10 texts from elected officials saying, please send me your resolution before it was even drafted. So I think getting it out creates us as a leader in the eyes of the state when it comes to fiscal accountability. And so that's why I would generally, if commissioners weren't here and it was something significant that gathers public interest, I'd say let's wait till everybody's here. But honestly, knowing that the way the resolution's crafted, it just speaks for the commission itself, doesn't reflect any no votes or absent votes or anything like that. And then secondly, knowing that everybody on this commission and the staff are basically conservative, accountable people who support it, I would make a motion to pass it today because I think, just the timeliness is key, and there's so many advantages to being the first out the door and getting this out quickly. I think there's advantages to that. So that's why I'll obviously allow discussion, but I'm going to make a motion to pass it today.
Okay, so we'll come back to that motion in a minute, but a couple of things. So I don't know if you're able to put up, I should have thought of this earlier, but if you're able to put up on the screen the resolution, just so anybody can see it.
Eric will work on that.
Okay, give us your update.
In the meantime, I did have a conversation with Commissioner Campion about this, as you made everyone aware earlier. She was unable to make the meeting. She has made a request that we table this until the full 5-member board can weigh in and vote on this resolution. However, it is up to the board today to make that decision, but I just wanted to put that on the record. As far as the letter that was received that you referenced earlier, this does not have anything to do with the resolution that Commissioner Sabatini has requested. That was a letter sent from the Executive Office of the Governor's DOGE team requesting information about the financial stability of the county. And I believe our clerk of court, who acts as the comptroller from the county, will be addressing and responding to that letter that we received by the deadline of April 8th.
Great. Yeah, thank you. And I always like to point out the beautiful balance of power that we have at local government, where our clerk of courts, who's only beholden to the voters, not to us, has the ability at all times to audit us, which he does. And you will be responding to that letter. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've already met with Jennifer yesterday. Jennifer and Melanie have already drafted a letter to go to the governor today.
Nice. Yeah. Thank you. Good job. Appreciate that.
And just so you know, they're asking for information beginning with the 18-19 fiscal year. And each year we provide, as part of sending up our financial report to the state, we actually certify every year that we meet all of these tests. And we've done that every year. So we've never been in financial distress. So as far as this letter goes, my response should clear that out of the way for them. They have a repository up there where they could go look. But we're going to send them all the certifications that we did over the past year.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. So as we're discussing this more, I'm going to put something out as a thought. Is it possible for something like this that I think there's support? I would agree there's support on this for probably all. I'm saying all 3 of us that are here. Is this something that you can do two readings on? If it's approved today, we do a second reading. No, you only want to do one. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I would prefer to have all 5 here. Okay. What I want to be very cautious is that I feel we're all conservative, but I don't want to turn the dais into a political event, and I would like everybody to be able to weigh in on this. And that way we get everybody's. I think it's the fairest thing to do.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Traditionally we usually, respect a commissioner who really wants to weigh in on something, so it's apparent that Chair Campion wants to weigh in on it. So we'll wait, but I think it's clear to say on the record, and that anybody listening, that this is something that's important. I think I'm glad you brought it up. It's it does not, there's no federal connection. I know that was a question that came up earlier, right?
That is correct. This
Yeah.
is strictly through the governor's office that he's created. The EOG Doge team is the official title of the team. I would like to offer that if the board, and it sounds like the consensus is to wait till we have all 5 members, we do have a board meeting next Tuesday, so I'd be happy to include it with that agenda.
That sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me.
So I'll retract the motion. We'll get it done Tuesday.
Okay. And I appreciate it. I think it's a good sign again.
Hopefully, we're still the first to pass it.
Yeah. I mean, we're definitely a leader in that, and we are a leader. I think it's a great opportunity for us as a county to show that we are a leader in efficiency. I know Jennifer's always, pressing staff to try to find efficiencies and better value for the tax dollar, which is really important, especially at the local level, for everything that we've got to do, requirements for public safety and everything. So I think this is also a good chance for us to lean into it and show those that we serve that we actually are very efficient, and we're willing to look in those areas that we have to improve and make changes there as well. So I appreciate it. Thank you. Good discussion. And so we'll move that to our next meeting. And wow, that's it. We're getting close to our final part of the meeting, and that is commissioner reports. We'll start with our attorney, though. Nothing to report? Ms. Jennifer, nothing? Okay. Commissioner Sabatini?
One, nothing, no updates.
Nothing to report? Okay.
I want everybody to come tonight to Mission Inn to the Boy Scout dinner because our prestigious vice chair is being honored tonight.
Yeah.
It's a great fundraiser for the Boy Scouts, and congratulations on getting your eagle.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Secondly, the city of Leesburg has a fish fry that is probably the best fish you'll ever want on April 3rd, so grab your tickets. It's a great event. That's it.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate that. Just 2 items for me to report. Was at the Florida Association of Counties last week. I think Commissioner Sabatini was there, right? So I want to compliment Florida Association of Counties for giving us a really good presentation. Had all the secretaries come in and really give us an update. Talked about some critical proposed legislation. So there's a long way to go in session. Bills and things are getting worked and reworked, so we have to kind of wait till the end, but it's always good to be engaged with the process. I think as commissioners, we'll stay involved and be able to report to those that we serve in our districts, but we have our staff that's tracking some of the bills as well to see how it'll affect us, particularly in the rural areas. So more to come on that. And thank the Florida Association of Counties. All right, last thing I'm supposed to do here is, of course, Commissioner Smith is not with us this morning, and what does he do? He always provides what day it is. So he has passed that along to Jennifer as to what the day is today. And drum roll, but today is National Medal of Honor Day. Big deal. I know that Private McTurius is our Congressional Medal of Honor, I believe. I've got that correct. Ray, okay, yes, our historian in the audience, Ray Powers, is confirming that. And of course, he's from Altoona and received that very rare Congressional Medal of Honor for his heroics at Iwo Jima and saving a platoon of men, or maybe more even, single-handedly taking on the Japanese army at that time. For that very, it was a serious, your history. It was a very important battle for us. So he is one that I know of from Lake County, and I don't know if there's any other Medal of Honors, but maybe. But anyway, today is National Medal of Honor Day, and certainly something for us to think about this great nation and those that gave their lives for us. So. Yes,
and on
sir.
the lighter side, for Commissioner Sabatini, it's International Waffle Day.
Guess we're all going to Waffle House.
Waffle House, yes, and I know that you have your Waffle Houses staked out all around Lake County.
You know that. Yeah. Trust me.
All right, if there's nothing else, then we are adjourned. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you. Good job.
Thanks.
I'll see you guys tonight at the dinner.
All right, thank you.
Are you wearing your Boy Scout uniform? I didn't need